I hope you had a great weekend and are doing well today. And if you traded, had a successful trading day. I'm going to be quickly going over the S&P 500 E-mini futures as always. And today is Monday, May 19th. To start it off, like I always say, all the credit to Al Brooks. His trading course will be down below if you guys want to learn more about price action, the best possible way you could be taught it. And a huge shout out to my sensei, teacher, Troy H. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be trading. So, huge shout out to both of those guys. Quickly before I start, I think I overtraded today. I kind of had some lapses in judgment, lapses in mental discipline. I still ended up on the day, but I could have done and performed a lot better. I just think I wasn't as locked in as I needed to be, but I'll get into that. As always, I'm going to try to make this super quick and kind of speed run through it. Um, Purple lines, the high of last Friday and the low of last Friday. Just always look at resistance lines through there, and then I marked out some other stuff, and I'll get into that once I get there. So kind of I usually don't trade the first 30 minutes of the day, but I made an exception today because it had a 4 bar micro channel to start off with multiple closes on the highs, and this ripped, I think, over 30 points up. So yeah, over 30 points up, 3 micro gaps, 2 tick gaps, um, huge distance, and closing on the high. So I gave this about a 90% probability of getting a second leg just with these four. When I saw this kind of pullback failure on five, I bought the close of five, and then I made 10 points on seven within the first, 30 minutes of the day. When I usually don't trade, I had already hit my daily goal. That was probably my best trade of the day, and the rest of the day wasn't the greatest, but I'm just going to keep on going. I saw 8 close above the 20 EMA, which has been a huge indicator for me recently about getting kind of some more potential up. So I thought that it was probably going to try to test Friday's high, or maybe even break through Friday's high, and definitely try to test the pre-market or the Globex chart high, which I can see marked out with this red line of resistance right here. So once I saw this pullback of 9 close above the EMA as well, I really thought that this was going to get a good second push up. Another hypothesis that I had with this, sorry, my 15-minute chart's all over the place, is that the 15-minute chart needed a second leg up. So the 15-minute chart usually moves in twos, and it had this 1, 2, 3 push up, very big push up. And I thought, I saw 4 being bar 9, and I just thought that the 15-minute chart needed a second leg up. So I bought the close of bar 9 when it pulled back above the EMA still. And 10, I probably should have just, at this point, I think I was getting a little bit greedy, which I usually don't do. It almost hit the 10 points. I had a 10-point stop loss, um, or a 10-point take profit, my mistake. And I should have just taken at least 5 points or 8 points or whatever, but I just really thought that it was going to get this second leg up to the point where I kind of held for a little while, um, and then on bar 11, I got out break even. Unfortunately, I got in a little bit above this close. I think I was a little eager to get in. I'm trying to work on my entries a little bit more. I feel like I've been entering pretty bad recently, or not terrible, but I could definitely improve. So I got out break even on 11, which is fine. I'm okay getting out break even. And then it kind of went sideways, but I still really had, I was looking at the 15-minute chart. I really thought that this was going to get a second leg up. So 12 happens, and then 15 closes above the EMA, 14 closes above the EMA, and then I entered again, bad entry on 15, but I just saw it kept on rejecting the EMA, and I was like, okay, the second leg's finally going to happen. So I entered kind of premature. It went up a little bit, ended up closing in a bad spot, and then I got out break even again on 16, I believe. yeah, I got out break even again on 16. So 10 points, two break even trades. And then at this point, I just kind of, I was like, okay, I think I'm kind of forcing trades right now. It's going to probably get a second push up, but it may be very complicated. Um, and eventually, as you can see from the 15-minute chart, it kind of gets a very complicated doji push up. It kind of like rallies up, not a really clear leg, um, but it does end up getting its push up. So yeah, moving on, kind of just goes sideways into a trading range. I thought this, the Globex high, the Globex high was probably a line of resistance, and as you can see, you get a 3 bar breakout above the EMA, and the reason I didn't take this because it clearly respected this line of resistance. 28 respected it, so I thought this probably wasn't the greatest trade to get into if this is a line of resistance. And it keeps on respecting this line of resistance until it finally breaks through kind of on 33, 35. And then it pushes up. And this is, I really liked this trade. And I think I was just a little distracted. I had some other things going on and I wasn't paying attention a whole lot. But I really liked this trade of 35 and 36 up. It kind of like breaks through this resistance line. All this stuff from earlier still needs some more pushes up. And I wish I would have gotten in on 38 as a confirmation of a second leg coming up. And yeah, even if I got on the close, I would have probably started off down 3 points, down 2.5 points, but I would have eventually been able to make 10 to 15. So after I saw this and thought I should have entered and decided not to, it does get a second leg up from 35 and 36. So it kind of resets the leg count here. One, complicated pullback. Two, and I had another lapse in judgment here. I think I missed this trade and was a little bit frustrated that I knew I should have took 38 and decided not to. And I just thought this may have reset the leg count because it's a 5 bar micro channel up with 2 micro gaps with some really big pushes up over 17 points. So I think me and my trading partner both agreed that this could have reset the leg count. So then I got in after this tried to pull back and failed a bit. I got in on 45, um, and it actually ended up maybe getting another push up. I could have made a couple points, 2 or 3 points, but this long wick down took my short stop loss. Even though I may have not had the best decision making processes today, I still had really good risk analysis and risk management. So I only got out with a short loss of 4 points here. Backtracking for a second, I was talking about how I got in here and then broke even here. It kept on going, and my trading partner had the same hypothesis as me that the 15-minute chart needed a second leg. And he saw after 19 broke through the EMA and 20 tried to break through but ended up, and then 21 tries to push through again, stays on top. He entered in on I think 21 or 22. That's why I have this highlighted, and he ended up making 18 points on this rip up. So he had a good swing trade there. I just thought it was interesting. We both had the same idea. I just had a little tighter stop losses than he did. Moving on, like I said, I lost 4 points here, and then we get a huge trend reversal. And yes, this was kind of trading against the regime. What I did here, the regime of the market was very bullish, but um, I really liked this 4 push down, and as you can see, 53 closes below the EMA, and there's a micro gap, and this closes on its high. This gets a good close near its high, and it closes below the EMA, and there's a lot of micro gaps that need to be filled. So I kind of marked out 40 or 41's micro gap as kind of a line of support that maybe this was going to try to push back to. So I entered in on um, the close of 53, which may have been a little premature, but it ended up working out. 54 was just more confirmation for me that this was going to continue to go down. I thought we finally got a bit of a pullback failure on 55, so I sold another contract on 55 because it tried to pull back, rejected the EMA, had a really short close, so I sold another contract there. 56 kind of did the same thing, but I didn't want to get in for 3 contracts here. It's a little too much. and then I made 10 points exactly at this line of support that I drew out on 56. And I could have made more, but I was happy not being greedy. And at this point in the day, I was up really good. I was up, I think, about 16 points, and I should have been done. And this is where my lapses of judgment really came in. I wasn't really focused, and I took some pretty bad trades to end the day. But you always just gotta learn. You can't beat yourself up over it. I still ended up on the day, so not a huge deal, but it is what it is. So then it gets this reversal back up, but it's now trading against this huge leg down. And if you guys can see on the 15-minute chart, this is just a leg one down. It's probably going to get a pullback in a second leg, which it does. One, pullback two. And I wasn't really paying attention to this. I don't know why I didn't go through kind of my checklist before I make a trade. I think I just saw this and wanted to get in, wanted to make more, got a little greedy. So 4 bar breaks the EMA again. I thought, oh, it broke the EMA. It's probably a good sign. So I entered in on 63 and I set in limit order down on 63 too. And right when I entered, I tried to shut my limit order, but I accidentally got in for 2 contracts here, which kind of ended up screwing me. So I got out with a very small loss on 64, and I would have been able to work out and I would have been able to break even or make a couple points. But like I said, I just made a mistake with the limit orders here and just wanted to get out before I, bit the bullet for having this have a second leg, which it ended up getting. And then again, I don't really know what I was thinking, um, but it finally gets its second leg after this kind of complex pullback, and it got its second leg on the 15-minute chart. And I don't know, I think I may have thought that this restarted the leg count, and it breaks through the EMA again, and I just wasn't paying attention to the 15 and kind of the context of the overall market and what it was doing. So on this pullback on 71, I saw this big pullback. It fails to pull back. I thought it was confirmation. So I sold 71 and had multiple choices. I could have gotten out with 72 with up 5 points. I could have, broke even on 73. Could have broke even on 74. Could have broke even, or even could have taken like a half of a point loss on 75. But that's where I said like the mental lapse really got to me. I really wasn't, I feel like, in good mental shape here. I feel like I maybe I was revenge trading a little bit from this trade. So I ended up taking a 5 point loss on this trade as well. So I ended up on the day, I ended up 5 points. So I made half of my daily goal. But as you guys can see, after talking through all of that, I could have easily made, 20, even 30 points if I just would have kind of reset my mental when I took some of the not greatest trades and not let it get to me. So just a good learning day. Still made some points. Um, just to let you guys know, I got a really busy week coming up. I got to go to a graduation, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to post every day this week. I'm going to try as much as I can. Um, but yeah, I'll just see if I can get to it. I'll get to it. If not, then not. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Not the best day for me, but hopefully you guys can learn from it and kind of see the mistakes I made and make sure you don't make them. And I'm sure that I'll rebound um, later this week. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.